Oh, and look at that, perfect place to ride it like a wee bobber. You know, you're out for the good looks on the bike, and then you got a great looking view out there too. It is so cool, this thing. And what is up, YouTube? My name is Vinny and welcome to Road Blast Media. Now, CFMOTO have been doing some things lately. They've been listening to what the people want. You know, they brought out things in the likes of the 450 MT, which in my opinion is the best bike that you can buy for under 10k. But how about the coolest bike you could buy for under 10k? Well, in my opinion, CFMOTO have also made another bike that is gonna break some records of its own. So here we have the 450 CLC from CFMOTO. Now this is the BOBBER variant. They also make a more standard cruiser that has a more standard rear guard with a rear seat and things like that. But honestly, the BOBBER has got to be one of the coolest small capacity bikes to come out in modern days, especially for under 10 grand. In New Zealand, this bike is worth 9,990 including on-road costs, so it's under 10 grand even out the door, ready to ride. Over in places like the US and other things like that, it's probably going to be more in the realm of about 5,000 US dollars, which is just absolutely crazy. Now you've got that tried and true 450 parallel twin in there with the 270-degree crank. Now in this model and the other CLC, they've done little nice things like adding some little fins in there to give it a bit of old school 1989, the year that CFMOTO was established, and a nice little CFMOTO logo on the side too. Absolutely stunningly finished bike, by the way. Up front you've got a 130/90/16 nice fat tire on the front, and well and truly in the BOBBER style, and then in the rear you've got a 150/80/16, which is just looks so cool, you know, like with the nice like tire hugging guard and everything like that. At the back you've got integrated indicators and tail lights. It's very, very tidy. And then the brown seat, which is a bit controversial. You either love it or you hate it. I personally really like the brown seat. I think it kind of stands out and everything like that. But in the end of the day, if you don't like it, it's not the end of the world going down to your local upholsterer and getting it reupholstered black or whatever color you like. So this bike is absolutely wonderful. They've really gone above and beyond, especially for the price. You've got a beautiful, nice gas tank there. It's all unlockable and everything like that. Just well finished. Your key ignition is on the side here, reminiscent of some Triumphs and other things like that. And another cool feature is the dash. Now if you check this out, it's a full TFT, but it's analog style, so you can still customize your settings and things like that, play around, hook up your phone, or you can just have it a nice old school look but with a modern touch to it. Now another thing that comes standard on both the CLC and the CLC BOBBER is these wicked bar end mirrors. Now these are really, really nice, and they've done a great job of keeping vibration pretty much down to zero. That could just be because of how smooth the engine runs as well. So we'll fire it up and give you a little bit of a noise clip as well. So it's got a nice sort of rumble there down by the exhaust. And they look pretty good too. They're pretty, you know, standard style like cruiser exhaust. So a real nice sound to it. And yeah, up on the dash you got your little RPMs there as well to tell you. But mainly it's sticking to that old school style of motorcycling. Up front you've got a nice LED headlight sort of tucked in there. And it's just a really tidy bike all round. So yeah, oh, and another thing, it's also belt driven, which is really cool. So you've got a nice drive belt there, and it's all set up to be, you know, a proper BOBBER motorcycle. So I'm real excited about this one. Big thanks to Richard, who's letting me take this out for a video. He's actually purchased this bike off us, but I'm very grateful for him for letting me take this bike out for a bit of a video before he picks it up. So thanks heaps, Richard. I hope you enjoy this video too, mate, and you will be owning the coolest bike for under 10 grand. So yeah, I'm going to take it out for a ride and let you guys know how I feel about it. See you on the saddle. Rightio guys, we're now on the saddle of the 450 CLC. So I've just taken it for a wee ride to here from my house, and it is a lovely wee bike. It's definitely in the BOBBER sort of, you know, the BOBBER idealism, that it's more about looks than comfort. It's not an uncomfortable bike, but compared to the original CLC, it is a little bit more, you know, a little bit more, it's like riding a little bulldog or something. That's like the best way to describe it. But God, I feel cool on this thing. Like, you know, and as far as bobbers go, it's actually not that uncomfortable. I've ridden some much worse ones. This bike is of course also brand new, so it has not been run in yet. The suspension is still rather stiff, you know, things like that, so you do feel every bump and bruise along the way, but that's more of a new bike thing than anything. I feel like when you get a few thousand Ks on this, the suspension will soften up a little bit, and yeah, it'll be really nice. But other than that, it is a really nice ride. It's really smooth, it sounds good. I have to say, CFMOTO and their mirrors, man, like, especially because they're like a budget friendly, you know, option. Look at that, steady, and that's a bar end mirror. Like, you can see it perfectly, there's no vibration at all, and that's a bar end mirror. That's insane. So very, very good. They definitely know what they're doing. But this is just, it's just a really nice bike. Like, it just sort of cruises along. The standard, it's definitely like for, I would say, more ideal for shorter people, this bike. It's low to the ground where the foot pegs are and stuff. I'm 5'9", and this is like a perfect rider triangle for me. And if you're, you know, in the realm of 6 foot something, you're getting on the tall side, I would probably recommend the standard CLC, as the pegs are a little bit further forward and it just gives you a little bit more room. But someone in the realm of average size, like 5'9", this bike is absolutely perfect. And I just have to relay back to the fact that I really feel so cool on this thing. Like, it just feels so cool to ride. It's like it's so stocky and like so small, and you feel like you could just throw it around. I have to say, by the way, the factory tires feel so grippy. But yeah, this is like extremely lovely to ride, and I love the dash. It's so easy to read. It's analog as it gets, but it's digital, and you have all the great things of a digital dash, but the sort of timeless look of an analog dash as well. And it's not just like a rev counter with numbers, you know, like you've got like the little revs in the bottom, so you still know where you're at, but you've got a nice analog display, and it's just gorgeous. We'll try a little 6-gear pull up to 100, just a nice ease on, and it powers on extremely nicely. So the power is definitely there. It's only a little bike, you know, it feels light and nimble, you know, you can throw it around, but the motor is such a sweetheart, and it makes just that right amount of power. It's sitting right in the realm of about 50 horsepower, and it just feels good. It feels perfect for this style of bike, you know, because Triumph make a bobber, and it's about 24,000 New Zealand dollars or whatever, and what you do with that on currency conversion, I don't know. American, it'd probably be 13, you know, 14 USD or whatever. But yeah, it's over 20 something thousand dollars, and that's really the only other thing on the market like this. It's actually like a fully dedicated bobber. But CFMOTO have made one much more approachable, much more affordable, and honestly, I feel like more in the spirit of a bobber anyway, because, you know, a bobber's meant to be like a little bike, you know, like a customized small bike. They mainly were customs, right? And people would do their, you know, their 650 Suzuki Savage or things like that, turn it into a bobber. I feel like 450 is just the perfect platform for a bobber style motorbike. You still have all the good looks, and that's all that bobbers are really about, is how cool they look, right? Like, I just feel badass on this, and I can't help, when I have ridden this round a couple of times, look at myself in the reflection and my ego gets stroked a bit, because I just feel so badass on this little bike. Like, it just looks good, you know, like naked tail, 2 pipes down the side, like single seat, like you're a lone rider, you know. It is so good. So yeah, and just that motor is such a sweetheart. Like, just right up to 100 Ks like that in 6 gear, no worries at all. It's just a gorgeous bike to ride, and I'm having trouble because I've ridden the CFMOTO 450 MT, and I love that thing, and that is a great bike at doing everything, you know. It's great on the road, it's great off-road, it's comfortable, you can do long distance on it, you can take a passenger on it, it's got good power, it's reasonably light in the class, you know, it just does everything pretty well. It's like across the board, just a great bike for anybody, you know. You could daily ride it, you could take it out on an adventure, things like that. It's perfect. But I have myself troubled because I'm like, this thing is just damn cool, you know, and I like it. I just like the way it feels. I like the way I'm sitting. It is actually, now that I've kind of gotten used to it, is actually quite comfortable, you know. Like, I would say, like, you know, once it's sort of run in, suspension's a bit softer, I'd say this isn't actually an uncomfortable bike by any means. It's nice, you know. We're sitting at 90 Ks an hour, just cruising, you know, having a good time, and yeah, it's just a great little bike. So we'll turn down Beach Road here. I hear it gets a little rough, so we'll feel the bumps, eh? We'll feel the bumps. Oh, no exit. Oh. Okay, well, let's test its U-turning capabilities. Oh, bit tight. That's okay. That's okay. I might have leaned it through a little bit more if it was my bike, but I gotta be careful for good old Richard here. He's got this all pre-ordered. Thank you again, man. I really appreciate that you wanted me to do a video on this. It means a lot. And it's awesome, like, you know, it's great getting these sort of bikes on the channel and, you know, sprucing it up something different. But yeah, this bobber is awesome. Like, I would say if you're in the market for like a cruiser style motorcycle, you know, maybe you're getting into riding or things like that, and you do care about the looks, you know, like, because this thing looks good. And there's a lot out there that really don't, unless you spend heaps of money. Like, a lot of cruisers have the problem where they fall into, where if they're cheaper or smaller, they kind of look wrong, like they just look like a Harley copy or something like that. But this doesn't. It doesn't look like it's trying to copy a Harley. Maybe a little bit of a tinge of Triumph's homework on the bobber, but seriously, like, that's 20 something grand. This is under 10. They are completely different classes of bike, and they've done a great job, and it looks good, and people turn their heads at it and stop you on the side of the road and go, that thing is awesome. A little 5th gear pull to 100, get it up through the rev range a little bit more. Man, it powers on so nicely. Oh, and look at that. Perfect place to ride it like a wee bobber, you know, you're out for the good looks on the bike, and then you got a great looking view out there too. It is so cool, this thing. And honestly, of a lot of bikes, I find myself pretty happy to just cruise on this, you know, like, I'm having fun, you know, 90 k's an hour, 100 k's an hour. Like, you don't have to overly speed on this thing to have heaps of fun. It's just nice, and it kind of, it's given me a whole new perspective on motorcycling, to be honest, riding this thing. I just love the feel through the bars, like the flat bars as well. And this is good, man. This is exactly what people want. This is exactly what people want. And CFMOTO is honestly one of the only brands delivering on what people want, and at a price that people can afford. I mean, there is bikes in every brand that people want, but it's rare where they're actually affordable. I mean, you know, all of the coolest bikes from every certain brand are always, you know, always expensive. It's always the coolest ones are the most expensive. But not with CFMOTO. You know, under 10 grand you can get on something that looks awesome. You know, it just looks like a cool bike. And that's what people want. I mean, really, like, that's a big part of it. I know performance and handling and all that is also important, but looks is a huge part of it. If a bike's ugly, not many people are going to buy it. This thing just is beautiful. It's like a work of art. So, you know, it's great. I'm jealous of Richard. I want one too. I want one too. And I'm going to get one day, I think, because this is just cool. I think I've made up my, honestly, I love the MT. I do. But this has just outcooled it, like, so much. You know, and actually, like, seriously, it does handle well. The factory tires are really grippy. Like, look at that. You can just kind of like throw it in and it feels so safe and so, like, almost like it's glued to the ground. So the factory tires are awesome on this bike. They're chunky, you know, just grippy, and it feels good. Handles well, and it's got decent power. So it literally ticks every box. Yes, it's not some big crazy power cruiser, but it doesn't need to be. It's going to keep up. You know, it would happily do well over 100 k's an hour. Like, I'm not even pushing it and just sitting at 100 easy. So it's not struggling, you know. Obviously, if you're a huge guy, you know, upwards of 100 plus kgs, you know, maybe 120, 130, you know, you're gonna want to get something bigger, like a Harley or, you know, a 1200 Triumph or something along the lines of that. You know, that's just a little bit more butty. But for most of the average size dudes, and ladies too, you know, ladies, this is perfect, because I know a lot of you ladies are short in the leg, if you know what I mean. It's a common problem. Like, it's just hard to reach the ground on a lot of these bikes. But if I pull up here, I'm a short dude. Both feet flat, and my knees are like almost have a 90-degree angle in them. So, you know, you can see that it's just absolutely great little bike for pretty much everybody. And if you're a little bit taller, the CLC brings your legs a bit further out, decramps the you know, the cockpit a little bit. So we'll just turn it around here. Don't really want to be taking it on any gravel roads, because it's not that type of bike. You know, it's a cruiser, it's a bobber. All right, so this thing is just awesome. It's just plain awesome. I'm just trying to think about what I could fault it on. I mean, the seats are a little hard, but it's a bobber. Like, I mean, so That's pretty normal. What else? I guess the master cylinder's a little big, maybe, but some people like that, and you can get a little Brembo one for like $30, and it just kind of tidies that up. So $30 fix for not even really a problem. What else we got? Because we're talking about a under 10k bike here. You know, I'm not expecting 150 horsepower. I'm just not, and you don't need that. Like, you know, it's stupid, especially in a bike like this. This is a bike you want to rip around on, you know, rev it out and throw it through some corners and just have some fun on it. What else can I fault it on? The foot pegs are nice, the shifts, the gearbox is beautiful, the clutch is great, really, really nice, smooth clutch. I don't know. I'm trying to think, guys, I'm trying to think. But, you know, these CFMOTO do not miss at the moment. I'm coming head on into wind and I'm not even getting blown around that much, and it's not a big bike. It's like steady as a rock. I mean, come on, like, when are they gonna, you know, like, they started out pretty rocky, I have to say. Like, there's a few bikes that they brought out, the 650 NK, the 300 class, are all kind of average, you know, and they're worth what you buy them for, you know. They were cheap, but they weren't anything like crazy special in the market. They kind of just fit in at a nice price, and that was all good, you know. But now they're really doing something special, something that we feel, you know, something that actually means something to people, and I think that's important. You know, they're giving people what they want. I mean, they've got a 500 4-cylinder coming out, they've got a 675 triple coming out, but, you know, bikes that people want, bikes that people have been asking for, you know. And they'll soon, probably once all the big four get rid of their flagship 1000cc superbikes, guaranteed CFMOTO will come out with a 1000cc superbike for probably like 10k under the competition. You know, do what you will with that, but I guarantee you in a couple of years time that's going to happen. They're already trying to, like, they're chipping away at every single point in the market and hitting it so nice. So yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on this bike? Obviously a bobber isn't for everyone, it isn't, but I love it. It's for me, and it's for a lot of people that are into that sort of more rugged, bare bones style of riding, you know. Like, it's just so cool. Like, let's pull up, we'll end the video off here at a nice view of the ocean. So yeah, lovely bike. We'll get that side stand down. I really do want to come up with something to fault it on, you know, like something to go like, that's not very good. But so, number plate, the tail is pretty tidy, integrated tail lights and indicators. Check that out, I'll click one on for you. Look at that, that is so cool, you know. So that's a nice little extra. I like the dash. Maybe somebody would fault it on the dash, say no, it doesn't need to be a TFT, it could have just been analog. But then you can't have all the cool connectivity stuff. Maybe the headlights a little bit backwards, but that kind of gives it that bulldog feel. And also you can probably just turn that bracket around and it would stick out a bit further, so problem solved. You tell me. I don't know, I like this thing all round. You know, for what you pay for it, you got to admit, like, that's what you're taking into account. Obviously it's not the highest performance, and you know, it doesn't have the most expensive suspension, but it's under 10 grand. And it looks like that. I mean, look at it. It's awesome. You know, normal people who aren't even riding bikes will think that's cool. You know, that's just awesome. And it sounds cool too. I bet when you get some pipes on it, you know, like, it's great in every single way. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun making it. You know, it was a bit more of a cruisy one, a bit more of a chill ride, you know, all that. But I think it's actually a really cool bike, you know. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Here's my review on the 450 CLC. Not into the numbers or anything, it's just how I feel, and that's what a lot of my reviews are like. So enjoy the view, and yeah, have a great day, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Cheers.